All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us for tonight's team call. We're going to start off with some awesome announcements. Pretty much the same as last week. Fruit Punch Energize will be released February 19th. So just give yourselves a heads up. Let your customers that love the regular Energize. I personally like the Fruit Punch better. I tested it in Las Vegas. It is good. So let them know about that. Transform 20, obviously here. Challenge packs are on sale through February 28th, $20 off. Success Club trip, make sure that you opt in for the trip. You can go to successclubtrip.com/2020. Emails will be sent out. Did anybody get the emails to register? Awesome, sweet. So just keep an eye on your emails if you did opt in for the trip. Also make sure you check your spam because sometimes it can go there. We have a new workout coming up. Oh, and we do have what I learned from our Team Cup chat last night. Autumn has the new program coming, or the new nutrition program coming out, which I'll update in the announcements for next week. It's not on here, but just have that in the forefront of your mind because that's going to be way before this program is coming out with Jericho. Amanda, I see you're on. Do you want to give some details on that?
It's coming out soon. I haven't done all the research yet.
What is it? It's called the Ultimate Fix, right?
It's called the Ultimate Portion Fix, and she's re-recording 21 Day Fix and 21 Day Fix Extreme live. So it'll be obviously, I think it's going to be the same workouts as the previous versions, but just updated.
And a new Autumn. Because she acts different now than she did, back then.
Yep,
It'll be
sure.
fun to see what she does. Register for Team Cup. We have 1 or 2 more days to register for that. So if you don't have your 5 people, let us know. We'll get you hooked up so you guys can reach your business goals and earn some fun prizes and work together. We have some new Success Club prizes for 2019. You can check them out here. If you earn Success Club for 1 month, you get a prize. 3 months straight, you win a prize. 6 months straight, you win another prize. 9 months straight, you win a prize. And then 12 months straight, you get another prize. Pretty awesome. And I hear that luggage thing is legit. So I'm excited to get that one. Summit tickets are on sale, $155. That's a savings of $140. And it ends in 2 days. So make sure. And for the Team Cup, if you register for Summit, I think you get 10 points. I might be lying. It might be 5 or 10. You get points for the Team Cup if you're registered for Summit. So make sure that you get on that. We also have a lot of new trainings and groups that are starting next Monday, February 4th. If you guys don't know this already, in our team page, right up, if you just go to the page, right, you're going to see this. If you click on the banner, you'll get all of the links for the groups. So if I click on this, in the description, here's the Legendary Leadership course, and that is for Emeralds and above coaches. Click on that. Make sure to answer the questions or else they will not add you in. I'm personally not running that. It's our upline coaches that are running that. Boss Babe Academy, that is for brand new spanking coaches, our what we call Coach Basics group. That will be starting on Monday as well. Make sure you click on that to be added in there. And if you have any new coaches in there and you want to watch them and support them through this, then you can also add yourself. And then we have another new Transform 20 challenge group also starting on February 4th. It'll be starting prep week, February 4th. So, for me, if I have people that are signing up next week, I'm still going to add them in. Even technically, we started prep week on the 4th. If I add them in on the 5th or the 6th, I feel like they can catch up. If they're coming in that second or third week, I might put them in another group. But that's totally up to you, and that's your call. And here's some info on the Team Cup if you're still I don't get what we are talking about. So just know that I'll try and put most of the important information up top at the banner. And then we also always have the pinned calendar. So if you click on, it had, what was it, like click more, view more, we always have our team calls and the link to the team call. So I saw a few of you are like, what's the link? What's the link? If it's not put there, it's always the same link. That's my personal link. So if you want to copy and save it somewhere else, or just know it's always up in the announcements of the calendar. And I love this calendar too. I hope you guys do take a look at it. Lauren does take some time to do this. I do not do it. Lauren does it for us. But she gives, really great tips on posting, some ideas on what to do, the team calls, the national wake-up calls, when new things are coming out, when we had the team retreat, things like that. So it's really good just to, especially like at least once a week, look through, see if there's anything that you can pick from this that will help you out. Any questions with that? With any of the groups, with any of the trainings that are coming up? With any of the Team Cup info? Going once, going twice. Okay. So I had one of my coaches ask me, I think it was last week or maybe this weekend, I don't know. She's like, how do you come up with your stories? Like, how do you come up with your posts? Like she was having a hard time of coming up with different posts. She felt like she was always repeating and saying the same things. And I'm like, I know I always felt that way. And I sometimes still do. And I know I hear it from a lot of you guys too. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this call. And I also told her that, like, I used to worry about that, like, especially like when I was like working full time, like I would come home and I was like, oh my God, I need to make a post. And it was like so much like stress and anxiety trying to come up with like this one post. Or, back then when I started, it was like 3 posts a day. And I was like, crap, like I got to freaking catch up. And it was just so much like stress about it. Now my mindset's totally different. I'm like, a post will just come or an idea will come. Same things with like the team call. So I thought Keith Callahan was going to be doing our call this week. It's next week. So I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, all right, I have to come up with the team call. I was like, it will come to me. It will just come to me. And you know what? It comes to me. So it came to me from that question. And then I got an email this morning and I'll be talking about it, from this girl that was at the leadership retreat that me and Jess went to in Las Vegas. Just did a team call about this. Jessica also talked about this at our team retreat. But I thought it was just super important on sharing your story and why that's so important and how that can help you craft your posts so that you don't feel like you're saying the same things over and over, that you're taking a different part of your story, you're taking some different ideas and making it your own. So the first part of tonight's call, I just wanted to kind of like give you guys a list of different things, of different ideas that you can write about. So I'm just going to read through this, and on, your paper, pen, notepad, whatever you're writing stuff down on, just think of like different things. And I'll, if I have an example, I'll let you guys know, but that's how you can save it for later. Like I use the notes on my phone, and that way I kind of always have some like running ideas of what I want. And then if I'm not like worried or stressed about it and I'm like, oh, it'll just come to me, I'll kind of like go through my notes and then like, all right, I have like a sentence, or I have like 2 or 3 words, and something will just pop up. So by telling stories, you're creating that connection. So that's the whole point of this, right? And I'm going to show an example, and I come across this like all the time on Instagram. And the example that I use is a girl that's not a Beachbody coach. She's into fitness. I've asked her plenty of times to become a Beachbody coach, and she always does the same post. And I'll show you like her post versus somebody else telling a story. And you can see like her post gets like, and we know, right? Like it doesn't matter the amount of likes that you get, but if people are interacting with your post more, you definitely like hit a nerve with people, right? You've made that connection with people. So I'll kind of show you guys that at the end. So let's first go through this. So if you're wondering, what can I share? What kind of stories can I talk about? let's get some ideas flowing, right? So first, make a list of your accomplishments. What have you accomplished in your life that you're proud of? Graduating from college. An example for me, I don't think I've talked about it too much, but when I became soccer captain, and I should talk about this because I told my coach I was quitting when I was a senior, and at the last minute I was like, fine, I'll do it. I became captain, whatever. So make a list of your accomplishments, whether they're big, small, whether they're from high school, college, whether they're from yesterday, today. Like, most of my posts, especially now, especially like 3 months ago when I didn't really want to show my face, they were all like old things. Like, they were pictures that I was taking from a while ago. They're stories that I took from a while ago. So don't think it has to be this second, this moment. Make a list of your failures, right? Like, what do you wish that you can go back? Or what did you learn from those failures? If I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. What problems did you overcome, and what problems are you having now? So yesterday I made a post and I was like, oh, should I say this? Should I not? But it was really something that was a problem for me. And it was actually over the weekend, my mother-in-law was saying, she came over and she had all these nice things to say about me and my pregnancy. And man, that angered me for a few days. So my social media, sometimes therapy as well. I didn't say, hey, Carol, why did you say this to me, right? And I didn't use the example she did. So if you're thinking, ooh, Rose, I can't tell some family stories because I don't want to offend anybody. I didn't even say what she said. Like, a lot of the things were what other people were saying too. But there's always a way that you can use what's going on in your life and make it something positive, right? So even though that was an issue that was going on for me, so if you guys didn't see my post from yesterday, it was just a lot of people giving me negative opinions about having a natural birth or breastfeeding, oh, you can't do that, that's too hard, blah, 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 blah. But I made it into a positive. I made it into why can't us women empower each other? Why can't we, be positive and be inspirational? So yeah, it was a problem, but then how was I able to learn from that lesson? Memories of your childhood, family trips, snow days. So I think we were supposed to get some snow tonight, so that's why I put that there. If you guys are posting a picture of your kids in the snow, instead of just saying, oh, what a great snow day, we had fun, so what? Make a story about it, right? What did your kids actually do? Or what did you do when you were a kid and you had a snow day? Was there a snow day that you remembered? I remember for me, I think it was, what was that blizzard, hon? Was it 95? 96? There was a 90, okay, Christina's shaking her, yes. So when I don't even know how old I was, whatever, I think I was 11. We lived on this high hill. My dad had this brown Celica, this 2-door Celica that was rusty as anything. We were at the bottom of the hill. I don't even know why we were out in this blizzard. But anyways, we couldn't obviously get up the hill. And that was a memory for me, right? So that would be something that I could share when I have those snow days and posting pictures. Instead of just putting a picture of a snow day saying, oh, it's snowing, yay, I can kind of share that story. And I'm sure other people have that same memory of being stuck at the bottom of a hill, having to trek their way back up. Because what you want to do is not just tell your story, but when people are reading your story, you want them to put themselves in your story. You want them kind of going through that in their own mind of them actually being there, or them remembering something from their childhood of going up the hill, or them remembering that blizzard of 96 and how crazy that was, right? Okay, back on track. What you thought when you were just a brand new customer, or what you thought of when you were a new coach. So tonight I posted about when I was a brand new coach of kind of my what I did at night. I would come home from a 45-minute commute. I lived in a condo back then. So immediately I had to take my dog out because he was stuck inside for 10 hours. I fed him. I had to feed myself. By that time, it was already 8 o'clock because I worked really late at those, back in the day. And then I got on the call to learn about this new business I was doing. And here I am 6 years later teaching my team the same thing that I did. So think about some of those things. Like, what did you feel like when you were a new coach? What was your life like back then? And if you are a new coach right now, like write those things down now so you don't forget them later on, right? Or if you just started out as a challenger, why did you start out as a challenger? What was that moment that you're like, you know what, I'm going to sign up? When did things not turn out as you expected? What was the lessons learned? Childhood stories with old friends and family that you might have forgotten. And you might need to like talk to those old friends, right? Like go on Facebook and start some conversations, or talk to those old family members. Ask them about, when you were a kid, of some funny stories. Like people love that stuff, right? Your first day at a new job, whether it was first day you signed up to be a coach, or, your first day at like where I used to work at. I think I was like 15 or 16 at Delicious Orchards, and I was the cash register chick. And they had banging food there. If you guys know where that is, it's really good. Where was I? Oh, funny things your husbands, kids, dogs do. You guys see me post about my lovely dog and how he eats my tables and digs my carpets and all that kind of fun stuff, right? People relate to that. Personal development ahas. I think that's one thing that we, and including me, I need to do more of, because that's how people see that you're learning and that you're growing. And they're like, oh, I want to do what she's doing, just because she's always growing. She's always continuing something else. She's not stuck like I am. What are some things most people don't know about you? So sometimes I see coaches post like, just like little tidbits about themselves. You didn't know I liked this or that, or, when I was 5, this happened, or, people like to know things about you, right? If they know, like, and trust you, that's where you get that connection. There's not a million Beachbody coaches. I think like 400,000 Beachbody coaches, but people sign up with you because they know, like, and trust you. So let them in, let them get to know you. And then what are the things that you like? What are the things that you don't like? So you guys all know I love ice cream. I love makeup and hair, even though I never do my makeup or my hair. I just like to collect it for some reason. Talk about those things, because people are going to be like, yeah, I like those things too. Or no, like, I don't like those things. And you get those conversations started. And for me, this year was all about quality posts over quantity. Like I said, when I first started 6 years ago, it was like post 3, 4, I think it was almost like up to 5 times a day back then. And man, that was some freaking pressure, right? Now it's totally different. Like, yes, I do way more with stories, but I don't feel like you have to be such a content creator. But if I can have one good quality post per day, awesome. I'm not stressing out about it. And you guys might even see, like, sometimes on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I'm not feeling it, then I'm not going to post it. I'm not just going to post up anymore. If I can put out a good quality post, that's going to be remembered far longer than me just slapping up a picture with a few words and people are going to forget it in a second. So I talked about an email that I got from Kendra. She was a chick that was at the leadership in Vegas with us. And this was the email that I got. And she always has like these cute little videos, and definitely follow her, Kendra Hall. She's the same chick that Jess was talking about at our team retreat in the beginning of January. But definitely have your paper and pen out. I'm going to play this entire thing. That way she has like a little, you'll see. Let me just go back to the beginning. All right. I'm going to shut up. Can you guys hear this?
Seemed a little
No.
nervous, or it or both, whatever it was clear that he really had something on his mind. And he came up and he said, so I have a story. I have a story and I've been wanting to tell it in the work that I do, but I just don't know if I should. And before I go any further, I should say this happens a lot, or at least half of the time. Half of the time, people think they don't have a story, and I've got to deal with that problem. The other half of the time, like this man, the people know they have a story, and it's just a matter of where, when, and how to tell it. That's what I want to focus on in this video. In this video, I want to focus on the latter half. If you have a story right now and you want to put it to use, I'm going to teach you how to do it. If there was an event or an experience or a struggle or a success in your life that helped shape you, and now you want to share it to benefit others, here is how you do it. It's actually a lot simpler than you might think, all right? So before we get into it, I want you to grab a scrap of paper and a pen. Seriously, do it. It can just be what's best if it's paper, whatever it is. All right, you got that? It's stalling a little bit. Okay, now, if you have a story or the inkling of a story that you kind of want to tell, take out the paper and draw a line down the middle of the paper, dividing it into 2 columns. The top of the left column, I want you to write the word story in big letters. This is where we'll jot down notes on the story you want to tell, okay? Then at the top of the right column, I want you to write the word message. This is where you'll jot down notes about the message or the messages you're typically tasked to deliver, okay? So story, message. So far, so good? Good. Okay, let's keep going. Let's start with the story column, all right? Think about that story that's on your mind. What are some of the lessons you learned from that experience? What were some of the big ahas? Write that down. What were some of the little ahas? Write them all down. And it's okay if there's a lot of them. It's actually better. More ideas equals better. Think about the themes that permeate that story. Is it a story about love? Is it a story about loyalty? Is it a story about perseverance? Is it about learning from failure or working with others, or the importance of communication or trust or reliability? What is this story about? Write them all down. Next, ask yourself these questions. Remember, we're just filling out this list. What were the challenges you faced in that story? Who are you now as a result? Why are you better? How are you different? Does this story explain why you are the way you are? And is that important for the people you feed, or the people who hire you, or the people who buy from you, or the people who you work with? Is that important for them to understand? Like I said, don't hold back. For every thought and item you write down, you're actually expanding the surface area of the story. Each item you write in that column is an opportunity for connecting it to a relevant aspect of your message. Okay? So, you can finish that a little bit later. Right now, speaking of message, let's move to that column, the message column. We just filled out the story column. Now let's focus on the message. I want you to think about the messages you are typically asked to deliver. You're in human resources. You're in marketing. You're in sales. What points do you typically need to make? If you're the CEO or the president, what messages do people expect you to deliver? You send out weekly updates or a newsletter or host monthly meetings. What do you want people to walk away with? If you're a trainer or a coach, what's your message? If you're an entrepreneur, what knowledge, wisdom, values does your audience expect from you? Think about themes. You talk about the pursuit of excellence, about perseverance. You talk about the commitment to customers. What actions do you typically persuade people to take? What do you warn them against? So these are all things I want you to consider and write down in that column. Like the story column, don't hold back with your message. Dig deep, dig wide. Every item on that list is an opportunity for a story, and we're trying to figure out if the story you want to tell is a good fit. And in fact, that's actually the last step in the process. Cross-referencing between the 2 columns, the 2 lists, the message you deliver and the story you want to tell. We're looking for footholds, for crossovers, for items that appear on both lists in some shape or form. Are there elements in your story that illustrate points you make in your message? Places, ideas, lessons where your message and your story intersect. It is those intersections that make it possible to tell your story and really have it matter. You just need to find one to make it work. Want to see what I mean? Okay, let's go back to the man who came up to me after that recent event. Now, I could tell after he learned about the power a story can have, he really wanted to tell that story that was on his mind. He looked at me intently and said, I asked him about his story. I lost my son. My son passed away, and I want to tell that story. Now, certainly, that's a very big, very difficult story, and I'll be honest, a lot of pre-work needs to be done on a story of this type. That's a topic I'll have to cover in another video. Right now, what's important is this man had a story, just like you might have a story. And my first job was to fill in the story column. So immediately, I considered all of the possible things that he might put in that story column on his piece of paper, the many, many things he might have learned from that experience. And it didn't take long to come up with an entire list of items, okay? Then it was time for step 2, filling out the message column. Now, to get a better understanding of what his message might be, I asked the man what he did for a living, what messages he typically delivered. Now, it turns out he's actually a real estate trainer. He teaches other agents how to close more deals and become more profitable. He guides them through both the technical and the psychological aspects of a career in real estate, okay? So I made a mental list of items that might be included in his message column, points he makes, information he delivers, and then I quickly looked for potential crossover between the story and the message. And immediately, I saw a possible connection. I asked him if one of the things he teaches in his real estate was the importance of time management. He said, oh yeah, that's a huge part of my training. New agents always spend their time poorly. They waste a ton of time on tasks that don't generate revenue, and they end up broke and miserable, discouraged. They're just buried under a pile of irrelevant work. Right? He said. Now tell me, in the experience and story about your son, did you learn the true values of him? And he looked at me like a light bulb was slowly turning on. And he nodded. So I continued. You know better than anyone how valuable time really is, and that in the end, the only thing you'll ever wish you had more was time. And he stared at me, and he said, yep, that's it. And he walked away. Now, I believe there is a place for every story, that we live our experiences so that we can tell them. If you have a story you've been hesitating to tell, do a cross-check with the messages you typically share. There's a good chance you'll find the perfect opportunity to live to tell.
I thought that was so good. So I scrolled down a little bit more because she always kind of like has a little written part to it. And I caught this, 2016. So to me, she's still using this in her email marketing. Guys, you don't have to come up with the same thing, brand new ideas over and over. Use content multiple times, because you know what? The first time, someone's not going to open that email, or somebody is not going to read that Facebook or Instagram post or stories. So that was one thing that I learned. The second thing, I just wrote down more of like the questions that she asked for the story. But the message as a coach that we want to come across, right? Like for me in my posts, I want to give people hope, right? I want to give people confidence. I want to give people inspiration. I want people to know to never give up. I want people to know about community, about friendship, right? About our team. So I talk about our team a lot. I talk about, like I did a post of me and Jessica, I think it was last week. A lot of you do, the post or the picture from our team retreat. So that talks about community, that talks about support, that talks about accountability, other messages of transformation from physical self to financial, right? Those are all part of the messages that we want to share with people. So after I watched this video, I kind of like using this side first to then come up with this story. So if you are in that case where you're like, I don't have a story, and guys, don't think you need to have a son that died or some tragic thing that happened to you or some tragic illness. If you listen to the National Wake Up Call on Monday, Emily, I forget her last name. She was on and she talked about her infertility and I think she had like 4 miscarriages. Yes, that is a riveting story, but you don't need to have a story like that. It can be just the story of the 96 blizzard, and you're giving people some inspiration, some confidence that no matter what, they'll always end up home. Or like for my post tonight, let me just go back to it, to like the end part of it where I connect it, right? So we just don't want to tell a story and just kind of like leave it out there. Like, what is the point? What is the message of us telling the story? So the point for my post today, the message that I was trying to tell people, is that we all start from square one. Knowing diddly squat, you're never too far behind, you're never too old, you're never too clueless like I was to write a new story. So I talked about, like I said, racing home from a long commute, this, that, the other thing. But I was able to start again. I was able to not know anything about being a coach and work my way up. So that's how you can kind of connect your story, your message to your story, and kind of vice versa. So I really loved using those two things kind of as a checkpoint. And I went through her website to do a little bit more homework. I don't know where I ended up, but she said, don't be the hero of your own story. Position yourself as the guide. So you want people to like I was saying before, put themselves in that long 45-minute commute, rushing to get home because they're so anxious, to get home to their kids, to make dinner, or to their husband, or to their dogs. That's how you make that connection. That's how you inspire, because that's what they need and what they want. So you don't always have to say, hooray for me, rah, rah, rah. But you want to inspire people to say, you can do this too, right? Like, you can be confident. You can live a healthy lifestyle. So I just found this like really quickly, because I know this chick, like I said, she's not a Beachbody coach. I've messaged her a million times, but she always has a workout video, and she kind of like always says the same thing. And let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger so I can actually read the caption. All right. So all she wrote was, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Make sure to save this and give it a try on your next leg day. My legs and bum are absolute noodles after this lower body workout. All right, she got 81 likes. That's cool. But bravo. So what? What's the point of this story, right? Where maybe in the beginning she was giving some inspiration, but where's the connection there? Like, I didn't feel it personally. And now let's go versus Happy, Healthy, Humble. This is Amy Rada. I think she finished 3rd or 4th in the company. And yes, she's doing a workout pose, right? The same, sweaty selfie that most of us do, flexing your muscles. But her post communicates how people can apply it to their life. And I'll try and blow this up and I'll read it. So her post said, every day is a new opportunity to be the best version of you. I'm in the process of eating according to my meal plan 100%. I'm 1 week in and would love to see the results I'm envisioning, but guess what? I'm not even close to where I'd hope I'd be. I totally see, move this over. I totally see why so many people get frustrated at this point. So that's where she's making a good connection. All that hard work and you don't feel like how you think you should feel. I gained 2 pounds back. I feel bloated. What the heck? My pep talk to myself this morning. Oh, my pep talk. My pep talk to myself this morning was much needed and truly came from the 1,000 of hours spent with personal development. So you see, she kind of like threw in a couple things that she reads personal development. She gained a few pounds. You spend 2 months getting to the point where you knew you needed to turn it around. Why do you expect 1 week to be the answer? Ladies, this is where she makes the connection. This is where she's teaching so people can apply it to their own life. Ladies, stop giving up. It's going to take time. So instead of sabotaging your journey, keep doing what you know you need to do. I promise if you stop giving up, you will get to where you want to be. So see how those posts are completely different just because she shared more of herself. She shared a little bit more of her story, a little bit of her journey, a little bit of what she's going through. And yeah, she got 1,400 likes and a crap load of comments. So like I said before, likes aren't everything, but with comments, she was obviously making a connection to people and they felt that. So ask yourself when you're posting, is this a quality post? And I'm not saying every post has to be a story, right? Like sometimes, yes, post a nice picture up of you and your family. You don't need to have a story for that. Your stories don't have to be long. It doesn't have to be like Amy Rada. It has to be like you, right? What I always do, and I still do it to this day, I find 1 or 2 coaches that don't piss me off, meaning I don't judge myself when I read their stuff. So like with Amy, I don't judge myself. With some other coaches, I'm like, ugh, like it makes me feel bad about myself. So find a coach or just another person that inspires you on Facebook that you can just take a few words, not steal her story, but give you that inspiration to think of your own story. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. If you have any questions or want to add anything. Ooh, Amanda, what is that you're listening to? I just saw it in the chat.
Building the Story Brand. It's really good. So if
Is
you're
it a book?
Yeah. Yep. I'm listening to it on Audible. You can also buy it. It's by Donald Miller. So that'll be a name that will pop up if you haven't heard of him yet, but it's really, really good. Really good. And he has like a whole like story brand script, but it talks all about how to share your story versus sell, and it's enlightening. I'm just working on my story brand script now.
And what did he say that like connected or that was the same thing?
So Kendra Hall, so you can get certified to be a story brand like ambassador, and I would be shocked if she is not one, because literally it was the exact same thing.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
That's so funny. And I think his name is familiar. So I think when I was looking through her website, I'm pretty sure his name came up.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember like exactly what you were just saying on the call now, but like whatever it was identical to what's in the book.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, don't be the hero. Let them be the guide.
Yeah. Part. Yeah. Be the guide. I like that. Sweet.
There's a lot of Yoda references.
A lot of what? You references?
Yoda.
Oh, Yoda. Oh, yeah. Because it's like, don't be Han Solo, be Yoda, right?
Be Yoda.
I've never watched Star Trek. Is that Star Trek?
Star Wars.
I'm not a sci-fi person. I don't do that stuff. All right, ladies. I'm going to take a picture for Instagram. Everyone smile. Sweet. Any last questions, comments? No? All right, let's end the month out strong and start February even stronger. If you guys need any help with Team Cup, we're here for you. And then next week, we are going to start at 8 p.m. because we have Keith Callahan talking, and we want to get as much of his freaking knowledge as possible because he's awesome. And I'll remind you guys next week too. All right, ladies, have a great night.